So, like I said, I can go that way. I can continue just taking the punches. Now, remember, I'm going to sound very whiny and high pitched. It's much better for me to just treat my condition myself and do this shit myself. Then I can talk like this. I can fuck these people up. I can defend myself. I can catch the punches. I literally can catch punches. I can do like jump ups. I can do a lot more if I treat my own conditions on my own, treat these assholes on my own, and take it up with Jesus on my own later. That was way better method for handling these situations. But of course, you're never gonna get help doing that method. I mean, no. And I think it was only from like 19 to 21 that really, when I was living in the woods, homeless with like gangbangers and stuff, when I really had to do that. But since I've been in New Hampshire, I'm given everything, and I've just stayed straight. Following my God, Jesus. There's God, there's Jesus. If you want to call him Buddha, that's fine with me too. I actually am a very open-minded spiritual person. Now, personally, I am a either you. I was raised Roman Catholic. I have one exception with the Pope, but everything else I am 100% with. I think that the Pope has been misled before. Maybe we picked the wrong guy on accident. Maybe the Pope was sitting in the background and we were not staring at the Pope himself. Maybe God chose the Pope and we didn't hear his words. Um, that's something a little different. I believe there is a person that can speak to God on our behalf, but maybe we don't get to choose who that is. Maybe God chooses who he wants to speak to. But no matter which way you want to look at that with the Roman Catholic Church or the Christians with the baptism, it's all very, very connected with God. It will connect you with your higher power and will help you build a relationship. It's all very real and it all works. But so does Buddhism, meditation, prayer. There's a lot of different ways to connect with God. And I bet he has had a son here that's died for his sins. I bet he has tried all different types of miracles and things to get us to stop killing one another and hating so much. But I can see that we aren't getting the message really well. So I'm trying really, really hard to kind of lead by example here. But I cannot listen to this high pitched voice I get whenever my nervous system gets turned up to a 10. Especially that I do a lot better if I just treat myself and then fuck these people up and just bounce to Florida where it's warm. But I gotta settle a little couple things in Massachusetts and New Hampshire. I can't just run away from my problems. So I'm gonna try doing this the right way. I'm gonna try, just praying for guidance and using the tools that this town, city, state has given me, and hopefully I get to live free and I don't have to die or get abused, kicked, beaten. But if that is the case, I mean, we're all created equal. He has no more rights than I do. If he's allowed to do something to me, I will damn right be allowed to do it to him. I just got to make sure that I have the exact same formula that he had. What did he have for a formula? Was it money? Was it a truck? Was it pull with the police? Was it the ability to avoid responsibility? Was it lying? Was it faking? Was it committing crimes? What did this person do that allowed him to commit this crime? You know, how would this landlord be able to just go around, allowing waterfalls to damage his tenants' properties for multiple years on end, allowing these giant mold infested sicknesses to go through kids and old people and disabled people, and then kick them in the ribs when they just try to hand them a piece of paper and play all these crazy games? Screw with the old man, too, in his own home. I mean, all this shit is terrible. I can't take it anymore. I can't take seeing these old people get used up. I can't see the guy at Walgreens that was diabetic, heavy set, missing his toes. Oh my God, he was the one pushing all the weight around. He was doing all the hard work in that place. Meanwhile, he had some 20-year-old eating candy bars, zitted face, in the office who's supposed to be management. You had another guy, Derek, who was a little better but a little older. He actually was a good worker, I gotta say, but he's still pretty young. And then you have the women chatting to one another in the makeup aisle all the time or chatting up customers. I mean, very little heavy lifting or unloading. It's just not a world like that. That's why I offered to do as much as I could when I was working for that disability program. It was actually a school. It was an MSEC program. That's a special education program. But they try to give you skills where you could volunteer out in the community. And that was one of the ones I volunteered at. Oh, yeah, I grew up my whole life in disability schools, being called Gimpy, being called Bucktooth, retard. I'm not kidding. That's what I got called my whole life. I get to say it. That was my nickname. I'm not even kidding. And it wasn't because I got some of the best grades in my class. I never got called it in my class. Absolutely not, or in any of the schools. It was in the programs because all these other kids, they went to the program schools. They didn't go to these schools. No, that was my adopted parents. They didn't go to these psych doctors for years. No, that was my parents who wanted me to go to those crazy little things. And don't forget, I'm just repeating what my mother's telling me. I don't know anything yet. I haven't been taught any of this. I have no idea what my mother's doing. Nobody prepared me for this type of psychotic behavior. Now, as an adult, I can look back and go, holy fucking shit, was that a crazy bitch. But as a child, I think this is normal. So now what am I going to do? We're going to try to use the proper tools at hand in society that they've given me. And we're going to pray that maybe people are honest, decent, hardworking individuals who just have each other as like a, it is a kind of a group effort. If society stops caring about one another, it starts to break apart at the seams. And I can see that society is breaking apart. And I mean, if we can't construct it back together by at least doing the basic jobs that we are trained to do, then what are we here for? I mean, if I can't pump gas, then I'm not gonna be working. No, if I'm at my job and my job's to do the gas and get you gas and ring you up, then that's what I'm gonna be doing to the best of my ability. If there's a problem, I'm not gonna stop until it's made right. Now, if I can't do that, then that store is going to be taken over by somebody else. But I will never neglect my duty or be like, oh, no, it's my day. Nah, I want to go smoke weed and hang out with buddies. Or, it gets to a point with some of these people, like where it's at 12 times in a row. And you have real medical problems that aren't even being getting, you're not even getting treated. And I was really working before during COVID. Oh my God. They had me ridiculous hours because I was getting paid so little. They could load me up with like 50, 60 hours and I would still be under the poverty limit so I could still get my insurance. I was getting paid so freaking little. And I was considered an essential worker working for Gulf, and there was no transportation for that whole year. I'm not kidding. No buses for me, no taxis. I had to walk for an entire year to work. Now, it wasn't far, don't get me wrong. It was less than a mile. But still, in snow, ice storms, hail, while other people were playing video games, getting $600 checks. I was getting hurt during this, and my doctors wouldn't even. I was sick multiple times, and the doctors didn't help me at all. So, don't pretend like I am some crazy person that doesn't work hard and hasn't contributed to society. No, I've contributed every last organ in my body, every last muscle, every last cell. I have contributed my knowledge, my skill. I have kept people from getting hurt. I have helped the elderly, the disabled. I have worked for 4 years with the disabled children at the ECC for special needs children in Massachusetts on Brickhill Road. I have worked needlessly to help society out, just to get kicked in the ribs over and over, burnt with cigarettes, drugged by crazy ladies. I mean, trafficked to state, having false records and being used as a scapegoat left and right for people's own drinking. I got my own drinking problem. I don't need to get blamed for other people's drinking problems. And if the landlord wants to get drunk and act like a fool, well, you're a fool. But I'm sober and I'm going to stay that way, and you can stay a fool. But guess what? I am tired of people kicking me in the ribs and and committing crimes, acting like crimes are some no big deal. Okay, if you think that crimes are no big deal, well, I didn't know that. That's a new rule to me. I thought crimes were crimes. I thought assault was assault. I thought you didn't put your hands on other people. If that has changed, that's new news to me. I didn't know that. My bad. But as far as I'm concerned, you are not allowed to put your hands on somebody else when you just try to hand them paperwork. You are not allowed to just shove them, then kick them on the ground. And don't forget, what he was doing inside the apartment isn't much better. All of this is ridiculous. He's had maintenance come in and harass me. Literally out of nowhere. Like no knock, nothing. Just comes in. I'm not even like literally, I'm like butt naked putting cream on my body. And then there's somebody right behind me making me jump, like right on my ass. Like I don't know who the hell just let this guy. The door was all quiet. They tiptoed. Like this is crazy shit. These people are ridiculous. Not only that, then like you got two people from Rochester trying to convince this old man that there's nothing he can do about giant waterfalls coming in his apartment and mold being. I mean, basically, this is the simple way to say this. The landlord has definitely allowed water to come in his building way before we moved in. This was visible to everybody. You can see this from the videos, photographs yourself. It doesn't take a genius to figure out those gaping holes water would come in. And that yellow stuff is my addition to seal it shut. It didn't do the great job. It still has water going in, just less. But all the windows have water going in the building. Now, that was like that when we moved in. So, what would happen if water was allowed to run down a building behind a heater for 15 years, 10 years? Because we've been here for what, 7, 8, so. Well, I know exactly what happens if you let water run down walls and wood for 10 years right near a wall heater that's the only source of the tenant's heat. You will get black mold so deadly that your tenants will start getting respiratory issues, heart issues, getting incredibly sick. So sick that they can't hold their jobs no more or make money. That's what will happen.